Hello, my name is Samuel Johnson, and this video will show you one of the major capacities of the Serious Language Student flashcards, which to our knowledge is unique to this electronic flashcards program. It has the capacity not only to help you practice the over 1,000 words in its built-in vocabulary, it also allows you to create new cards and add those to the box of flashcards that you are learning. This is especially useful if you are taking a course in Chinese and following a textbook, so that if there happen to be vocabulary words in your textbook that aren't in the program's original library, you can add them and practice the words that you need for the course that you're taking. So to show you how this capacity works, I will turn the program on, and you start with any screen that is testing any card, and you go to the Settings button, and in the Settings button you choose either of the modes that has you choosing the cards to be used. Expanding mode, user chooses option, is one of those. So choose that, say OK, and you'll be presented with a screen that allows you to type in the Chinese word that you want to add. If you don't want to add any words, you can simply hit OK. But let's illustrate this by first adding the word for culture, wenhua, which could easily be in vocabulary of some textbook that you were learning. So we put in the word wenhua, and of course we have to be careful that we spell it correctly, including the tone markings. You don't want to create a card that is incorrect and learn something incorrectly. So when you add words to the program, be careful to depend on your textbook or some other reliable source to be adding them correctly. So we hit OK. And lo and behold, this is a word that the program is already familiar with. It offers it to you and says, is this the one you wanted? And you simply say yes, and that word is now among those that you'll be practicing. Now, to continue the illustration, rather than going back to practice, let's add another, and hit OK, and type in another word. This time, let's add the word Daojia, which is the word for Taoist philosophy or Taoism as a philosophy, and that is Daojia. And that word is not in the original 1,000 plus, so we have a choice between giving up on it or giving up on the whole process and going back to practicing, or saying, I can supply the needed information. So let's say I will supply. And so it asks us for the Unicode of the characters involved. For those of you who may not be familiar with Unicode, the Unicode program assigns a number to every Sino-Japanese character. In fact, it assigns a number to pretty much any writing symbol of any writing system on the planet. But in particular, it knows the number for each Chinese character, so we need to find that in order to identify it for the program. There's a whole variety of ways on the web to find the Unicode numbers. You can go to the homepage of the Unicode program itself. Some other resources are listed in the manual, which can be downloaded from the Serious Language Student website. But the easiest way is probably just to go to your favorite browser. I'll go to Chrome and go to the home screen and type in the question. What is the Unicode for the characters of Daojia, meaning Taoism? And there is the information we need. The Unicode character for the first character is 9853, so I make a note of that. I'm sorry, I missaw 9053. And the character for the Unicode for the second character is 5BB6. So having made a note of those, I minimize my browser, go back to my program, and I put in the Unicode number for the first character, which was 9053, and there it is. And I recognize it. That's the character I needed for Dao, the first half of Dao Jia. And then I put in the Unicode for the second character, which was 5BB6, and there's the character that I needed for Jia. So that's how to write Dao Jia using the Unicode numbers. I already have the pinyin here, and I only need to add the English. As you add cards, again, rely upon your textbooks, your other sources, to put down a reasonably representative sample of the possible English translations. I'm just going to put down Taoism. I think that's enough in this particular case. And I'm going to capitalize it, and I'll have to remember that when I test myself with this card, because the program is case sensitive. Okay. One more example of adding a card to the already provided collection in the library will show something else that can happen. Let's add the word for cat, Mao. And as expected, it doesn't have that word in its library, but we want to supply it. And as we've seen before, at this point, it asks us for the Unicode number for that character. So as we've done before, we just can use a browser to get that information. What is the Unicode number of the Chinese character for cat simplified? And the Unicode number is 732B. 732B. So let's go back and put that in. And there's the character for cat, but here's the new thing. That character is unknown to the program. In the previous words that we added, the word might have been unknown, but it was made up of known characters. Here, the character is not known. So at this point, the program asks for information about the character. You may remember that on all the cards that you see, information about the character is given with its radical number and its number of additional strokes. So that's the information that the program wants to know now. So we can, again, simply go back to any of our resources. I'll just use my browser again and get the radical number and the number of additional strokes for this character. What is the radical number and additional stroke count for the simplified character for the word for cat, Mao? And the radical is radical 94, which happens to be the dog radical, and the additional stroke count is 3, giving the radical has 3, the total is, the additional strokes is 8, total 11. Okay, so the radical number is 94, and the additional strokes is 8. So going back to that, 94 and 8, 94 and 8, and OK. There's no further character. This is a one-character word that we're adding, so no more Unicode numbers to enter. We have the pinyin already entered, and I think it's going to suffice just to give the one English word definition, cat. So I click OK, and that adds that word. And at that point, one can continue adding words or go back to practice. So, that video showed you the powerful tool that serious language student flashcards have available that allows you to add your own created flashcards. I do hope that that's intrigued your interest. I hope you've seen the value of that and that you will go to the website and download the free sample version to make sure that it runs smoothly on your device and that the downloading and installing process are easily mastered. And then, if that does go well, that you will go again to the website seriouslanguagestudent.com and download and license the full version so as to have this powerful program available to increase your Chinese vocabulary, including using it to accompany a course where you can include the vocabulary of your textbook. Thank you very much.